Of all of these short squeezes we've been seeing on BTX, RHE, OCGN and VXRT, the one stock that really caught me for a big loss today is... What's up guys, we're finally seeing a lot of these small cap low floats coming back and I definitely traded a lot of them today and I am ending the day with a small red. So let's go over some of my trades right now. My first trade is on VXRT, but this one started selling off pre-markets. If you look at it on the daily, this thing gapped up all the way to 11s I believe and just started selling off. The only sad thing is I did trade on the short side, but the sad thing is I didn't get like a big size on it. I had a small starter pre-market and I shorted the morning breakout around like 1040s, but this thing just was so weak and you can see, I covered most of it here around 960s and I did think it could go further down, but it just never got a big bounce for me to add back. So this one turned out to be a small winner. This is not the stock that short squeezed me, but this one was nice. You can see once we started consolidating around the 920s and 950s, it kind of just keep on selling off. It was very heavy. So I was all out here, but I actually took off the majority around 960s. I was hoping that they're gonna bounce to at least like 950s or even $11. Previous day close was 1080s, but I couldn't even test that. So it was very heavy. I had a decent short, but again, nothing big, just because it didn't bounce enough for me to size into it. And SSR was triggered, I think around like $950 or $960. So that's why it got really difficult to re-add on the short side. So I just never got an add on it. But this thing, is starting to consolidate around the $9 range. If you watched the last week's recap, I think I also shorted this one a couple of times as well. I had a loss on a Thursday, was like Wednesday, and I had a profit on the short side on Thursday. Today I'm ending, this ticker is green for me. The next stock is OCGN. This one I did get squeezed, but on very small size, and I kept the loss pretty tight. You can see, I waited until seeing that this $15 range is kind of having a lot of trouble breaking above it. It's 15s. You can see a couple wicks here in the morning. I wasn't involved in this part. A couple wicks around 15s, and then and once it tested 15, that's why I scaled in short. Had a small starter around 1490s, 1480s. And I added on the 15. I want to see that $15 keep on rejecting, but the fact that they actually reclaimed it, you can see, reclaimed that $15 mark around like 10-15 and actually broke out higher. That's where I stopped out. So stopped out around 15-12. So very small loss on this, and thankfully I only had a starter and I didn't fight this one because you can see this thing just kept on grinding higher to $16 now. Wow. So yeah, this one was a loss on small size, but I cut it pretty fast, right? It's okay to be wrong in trading, but don't stay wrong. I want to be adding into my winners, and if a starter or like a short position is not working out, I just want to get out. Like I don't want to stay in it for way too long. Like this, if I held on to this, yeah, I probably could have like gotten out of the short, but imagine this thing just keep on going higher to $16. So that would not be fun. So keep your losers small and try to ride out the winners longer. So OCGN was a small loss on the short side. The other stock that I actually, this one, a lot of people got squeezed on BTX the last couple of days. I actually didn't trade this until today. So you can see this thing came from like $10, 20s, went to 50s, and last Friday it traded around like $50 and $60 range. And today this thing actually gapped up to $90. It's a huge gap up. And then this thing sold off. I was not in a hurry to pick the top. I was more short bias on this thing. Also, this is not the one that squeezed me out. Even though, I'm sure this BTX killed a lot of short sellers, but I did all right on this. The stock that really squeezed me, we're gonna talk about this later. But this thing had a morning push to $80. I was looking at it, but I didn't get in shorts. I kind of want to wait for a little bit more of a confirmation. So after this high of the day reject, this thing slammed back to where it came from. And then that's why I started shorting the weakness on pops, really. You can see it touched the 64 bounce. You can see each bounce, it just became lower and lower, and had a very nice ad about the $70 range. When it pushed, tried to test the 72, tried to test 73s, couldn't break above it. That's why I started adding into it. So with a stock like this that jumps a lot with a lower float, and especially after seeing so many shorts are trapped for multiple days on the way up from $20 all the way to $50, $60, and $80 today. You can't short the weakness. You have to kind of start scaling in slowly on the short side. It's not in one entry, one exit. At least not for me. I prefer to scale in slowly. So I had a small starter, 67s, and added some, and added on the top, covering around the core position. And I had a final add around here, $63, and I got a very nice flush move from average about 66 down to $58, $59. That was all out, and I had a tiny scalp over here. So that was a very nice short. And this stock, the volume just got a little bit too low after like 11:30, and just like slowly like grinding back. We might get more plays on this later, but I just want to take the meat of the move just because we've seen so many of these short squeezes recently. So BTX is a trade that's very green for me on the short side. The one that really got me is not BTX, it's not the Sympathy RHE. I didn't trade that one because the locates was very expensive. The one that really got me is, so before we go over the short squeeze loss on the other ticker, let me go over my trade on NIO. This one I had made decent profit early on, even with a starter size around long $40. And this is just like after I got long, yeah, it had a small dip to like 39.90, but this thing just ramped all the way to 41.20s super early on. And I had a starter. I was trading a couple other stocks on the short side, so I never added to this position. So I got out of my starter, and after seeing that this thing sold off with the entire market back to like $40 and then 40-20 range, that's why I wanted to get long again. But this time around was very heavy. So I had to stop out. So I gave back a lot of the profit on the long side. It was unfortunate because that was a pretty decent win, even with a starter size. But I went back, and then I think this one I lost like 20, 30 cents per share, unfortunately. So gave back a lot of profit on the long side. But this ticker is still overall green. Okay, so of all the stocks that's been short squeezing and killing a lot of short sellers like BTX, RHE, OCGN, and VXRT, the one that got me today is MRNA. I cannot believe it. Like, I shorted all the other ones you guys saw, and I ended up agreeing on most of them except for OCGN. But the one that got me today is MRNA. And like, truth be told, like they kind of cancel out with my bigger short profit on BTX and VXRT. So I'm only down like, a little bit over 1K today. But I'm just frustrated at the fact that this one short squeeze on MRNA took out all my gains that I worked so hard on all the other stocks I traded. So, I mean, 1K loss, like, it's totally fine. I can handle it. Tomorrow, I'll be okay. But man, I can't believe my one mRNA short squeeze took out everything else. So I'm a little bit frustrated about that. So when I'm frustrated, I know that I'm probably not gonna make good trading decisions after the short squeeze. So that's why I decided to like stop trading for the day. Even though, I'm still a little bit frustrated. So MRNA, this is a little bit weird of a stock. If you look at this chart, like very, very, a lot of V-shaped recoveries, a lot of like rug pulls and selling off to VWAP, and just a lot of like V-shape and like W-shape, really extreme highs and lows today. Today it did not trend well at all. I had a small scalp short, and then this is where I went in thinking that we're gonna, test VWAP and, had a decent recovery to the upside. So I actually long this thing around down here. That didn't work, so I got out of my long, and this is where I was thinking that, oh, this is actually really weak, right? A lot of these morning breakouts has been failing. They turned out to fill the gap to the downside. So that's why I started in scaling in small on the short side, 183s and then 185s, thinking that, okay, we're gonna roll over and continue the trend to the downside. But just like the trend on the upside didn't hold earlier, you can see, and this thing also didn't hold the downside trend. It just went back all the way back to highs. So this is where the majority of my short squeeze loss came from. I had a short average about like 184s, and I got squeezed for $2. Not fun. I got squeezed around 185.90s, and I got out all of it with some slippage around 186.40s. So $2 a share loss on full size. It was not fun. So that's what I mean by this short squeeze loss kind of took out a lot of the gains I did on the short side on VXRT and BTX. So yeah, it was definitely not fun to get squeezed on full size, down like a little bit over $2 a share. But the silver lining is that it could have been a lot worse. I'm only down 1K on the day. I'll survive. I'll recover this tomorrow, but oh man, like I was not expecting this thing to squeeze all the way back to highs. And later on, I did go back and scalp a little bit of a small short, 187s down to 186, and over here again, I tried to scale in short, smaller size this time around after getting squeezed on full size. 187s covered and had some residual small shorts down to 184s, and then I was all done by this. I realized that today this thing trades very strange. You can see like it's kind of like a lot of morning spike, fail all the way back to the bottom of the support, spike again to the same 188 level, and back to 184. So this thing was trading a little bit strange today, and it did the same thing again over here, 188, 189s, and fell back to 186. But yeah, I decided I'm done fighting the stock MRNA. I lost on both the long side. The long side was a smaller loss. It's okay, but it's mostly the short side loss that really got me on MRNA. So it's time for our Q&A. First question is from Ali. He or she is asking which broker allows you to short these small caps. The broker I use is Cobra Trading. That is the main trading account you are seeing right now. It's the one I day trade with the most capital, and they have a lot of short locates available for BTX, VXRT, OCGN, etc. If you use my referral link, you'll get 25% off on the commissions. And I use them myself, so I definitely recommend them. So second question, hi, just a quick question. How did you learn trading in the first place? Did you actually take courses, or was it more like learning by experience? Is it even possible to learn by yourself or with the help of YouTube? So I definitely started with purchasing a lot of courses, DVDs, etc. And they were important for me to get a good foundation. But I think a lot of people expect that by taking this course, after taking this course, you'll be able to make consistent like $1,000, $2,000 a day from day trading. And that is not the case, because while those courses are definitely very important to get a good foundation on the basics, and such as some of the setups or the technical analysis and different trading terms, those are important. So I'm definitely not discrediting those. But you need actual screen time and the experience in front of your trading platform in order to kind of apply what you learned from the courses into actual execution. But I will say, if you jump straight into trading with no learning at all, that's also not going to work. So you need both experience and courses to start. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there with a lot of these crazy short squeezes, but at the same time a lot of these like dumps like VXRT and BTX. Remember, it's okay to be wrong or take losses in trading, but don't stay in it, don't bag hold. A lot of my losses today, I just cut it completely right away. So that's why, I'm down small on the day, but it's an amount that I'm very confident I can recover tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the bad jokes. If you want to see more day trading content, make sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more. If you'd like to trade with me daily and get my free weekend watch list and trading journal, make sure to check out the links below for more resources. Stay green, stay positive, and I'll see you guys next time.